What's up, Commanders fans? Before we dive into this blockbuster trade proposal that could supercharge our pass rush and send a clear message to the entire NFC, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss the latest from Commanders HQ. We're bringing you daily updates, rumors, and insider breakdowns to fuel your passion all season long. Let's talk about why the Commanders might not be done wheeling and dealing just yet. Adam Peters warned us. He said this was going to be a new era of Commanders football. Aggressive, disciplined, ambitious. And after a shock run to the NFC Championship game in Jayden Daniels' rookie year, Peters is showing exactly what win now mode looks like. First, came the trade for all-pro left tackle Laremy Tunsil, a critical blindside protector for our franchise quarterback. Then came the stunner, bringing in dynamic receiver Deebo Samuel Sr. to give Daniels another elite weapon and reuniting him with OC Cliff Kingsbury's YAC heavy vision. But it seems Peters might still have one more massive move left up his sleeve. And this time, it's on the other side of the ball. Enter Trey Hendrickson, the all-pro pass rusher from Cincinnati, who's not just available, he's ready to move. Let's be real. If there's one glaring question mark heading into training camp, it's at edge. The Commanders lost Dante Fowler Jr. in free agency to the Cowboys, and while Dorrance Armstrong Jr. led the team with 5 sacks. Last year, he's never been a true game wrecker. The current room, Armstrong, Clelin Ferrell, and Javonte Jean-Baptiste, has effort, but not explosion. And when you're staring down a 2025 schedule packed with elite QBs and high-octane offenses, from the 49ers to the Eagles to the Lions, that's not enough. This defense needs a closer off the edge. A guy who makes offensive coordinators lose sleep. And that's where Hendrickson comes in. According to ESPN's Ben Baby, a hypothetical deal is already being floated. Washington receives Trey Hendrickson Bengals. Receive DT Jerzan Newton, a 2026 third-round pick, and a 2027 seventh-round pick. Let's unpack that. It's a heavy price, yes. Newton was a prized second-round pick this year, and many fans saw him as the future anchor, alongside Darren Payne and Javon Kinlaw. But with Detrick Wise Jr. also in the mix, and Payne locked into a long-term deal, this is one of the few spots where Washington can afford to deal from a position of depth. More importantly, by including Newton, Peters might be able to hold on to his future second-rounders, which is vital after giving up a 2026 second in the Tunsil trade. This is chess, not checkers. And Hendrickson? He's the kind of piece that can flip the board. Let's not forget what we're talking about here. Trey Hendrickson isn't just good. He's dominant. 17.5 sacks in each of the last 2 seasons. 4.4 Tech's Pro Bowler second best pass rush win rate at edge last year. 24% according to ESPN. And he's done all that despite being in contract disputes and rotational fronts in Cincy. This is a technician with violent hands, elite get-off, and relentless motor. You pair him with Payne and Kinlaw on the inside, and suddenly this front looks dangerous again. We've seen what a premier edge presence does for a defense. Think of what Micah Parsons means to Dallas, or what Max Crosby means to Vegas. That's the ceiling with Hendrickson, and with Jayden Daniels still on a rookie contract, this is the time to go get him. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Hendrickson is in the final stretch of his deal and wants a long-term extension. That's part of why he's trying to leave Cincinnati. Washington, with cap space and a growing championship core, could be the perfect place for him to land and lock in a new deal. And let's not underestimate the power of motivation. Hendrickson will be out to prove his worth, prove Cincinnati made a mistake, and earn that next payday. It's the same formula we're already seeing with Tunsil, who's also in a contract year. Add in the urgency from Deebo, who's out to remind the league what he can do in a new offense, and you've got a lot of hungry veterans with something to prove. That's a scary formula, if you're playing against Washington. Now, while Washington is busy building a Super Bowl roster brick by brick, let's talk about our old friends in New York. The Giants' OTA practices have turned into a circus. We're talking full-blown fights, punches thrown, helmets ripped off, chaos. Star pass rusher Brian Burns, young stud Kayvon Thibodeau, linemen James Hudson and Jermaine Elouamunor, all caught in a melee that forced practice to be shut down early. This isn't leadership, this is desperation. And it starts at the top with Brian Daboll, who's squarely on the hot seat alongside GM Joe Schoen after a shaky draft and a murky QB situation featuring Jackson Dart. Meanwhile, in Washington, Terry McLaurin might be holding out, but this locker room is calm, focused, professional. Dan Quinn and Adam Peters have built something that's ready to last. And Commanders fans should feel proud. We're no longer. The punchline in the NFC East, folks. We've got a situation brewing in Ashburn, and this one's got serious implications for the entire 2025 season and beyond. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, Terry McLaurin is not happy. And when your franchise's most beloved and respected wide receiver starts pulling back during the offseason, it's time to pay attention. McLaurin, who's been the epitome of professionalism since the moment he walked into the building in 2019, is frustrated. Not just annoyed, not just waiting. Frustrated. What's behind it? The lack of movement on a long-term extension. Now remember, this is the same guy who caught 82 passes for over 1,000 yards and a career-high 13 touchdowns last season, despite playing in an inconsistent offense and catching passes from 4 different quarterbacks. He's entering the final year of a 3-year, $71 million deal. And so far, talks on a new extension have reportedly been minimal. Let me say that again. Minimal. We're talking about a player who has led this team in receiving for 5 straight seasons, rarely complains, blocks his tail off, and leads by example every day. And yet, here we are. June, just ahead of mandatory minicamp. And Terry is nowhere near an extension. Here's where things get even more concerning. Schultz reported that McLaurin initially showed up to voluntary workouts, which speaks to his character, right? He wanted to be around his new quarterback, Jayden Daniels. He wanted to set the tone. But then, he left. Unexpectedly. No public statements. No press conference. Just gone. And the timing couldn't be more telling. Voluntary. OTAs are typically where vets like Terry get some light work in, mentor the young guys, build chemistry. But leaving in silence? That's a message. A subtle one, but one the front office can't ignore. Look, it's easy to say, next man up. It's easy to fall in love with the new faces. Deebo Samuel, Ben Sinnott, Luke McCaffrey. But there is only one Terry McLaurin. He's the glue of this receiving corps. He's the mentor for every young receiver that walks into that room. And more importantly, he's Jayden Daniels' security blanket before they've even played a down together. Think about what it would mean to have your most established offensive weapon walk away, or worse, play under tension the entire year. You're asking a rookie quarterback to thrive in a system where his number one target is distracted by business matters that should have been settled months ago. Jayden Daniels needs stability. McLaurin is that stability. So, what's the holdup? According to reports, the Commanders just haven't made this a priority. Yes, Adam Peters has been aggressive, bringing in Laramie Tunsil, trading for Deebo Samuel, signing veterans all over the roster. But the silence around Terry's extension is becoming deafening. One reason could be cap flexibility. After all, Washington has shelled out big money this offseason. Another possibility? The front office might believe it has enough weapons to survive even if McLaurin walks in 2026. But here's the thing. You don't build championship cultures by letting leaders walk out the door. You don't teach young players what it means to be a commander by showing them that loyalty gets you nothing. Terry McLaurin is the tone setter in that locker room. He's everything you want. Jayden Daniels. To become as a professional. So if the team's serious about its new era under Dan Quinn, this deal has to get done. Now, let's look at the immediate future. Mandatory minicamp is right around the corner. And if McLaurin doesn't show, that's a whole new level of pressure. He could be fined, sure. But what's a few $1,000s to make a point that affects your entire career? This is where we learn how serious the standoff really is. Is this just a player nudging his front office with a reminder that, I'm watching? Or is it a signal that McLaurin is prepared to hold out? Historically, Terry hasn't been that guy. He's never made waves. But when a player like him takes action, even quietly, it speaks volumes. Don't be surprised if this story becomes the headline in DC next week. And fans, if he does show up to minicamp, watch his body language. Watch his reps. You'll know if there's tension. Let's not forget, the Commanders have the cap space to get this done. They're no longer dealing with the financial gridlock of the Rivera era. Adam Peters has been aggressive in making trades and signings. But now he's facing his most emotional, most symbolic test of the offseason. How do you reward loyalty? How do you show players, both current and future, that being a Commander for life means something? We've seen what happens when teams wait too long. Look at the Cowboys' delays with CeeDee Lamb, or the Bengals dragging their feet with T. Higgins. Eventually, players walk, and fans don't forget it. If the Commanders were to lose Terry McLaurin after 2025, it wouldn't just be a blow on the field. It would be a gut punch to the entire culture Dan Quinn is trying to build. McLaurin represents the bridge between the Rivera years and the new regime. He's the symbol of everything that endured through the chaos. He earned this contract the hard way. No shortcuts, no drama, just production and leadership. Letting him play out the final year of his deal without clarity isn't just risky. It's disrespectful. So the question is simple. Should Washington trade for Trey Hendrickson? If this is truly a Super Bowl window, and all signs point to it, then this is the kind of move you make. Because games in January are won in the trenches by the teams who can get to the quarterback when it matters most. Jayden Daniels is only going to get better. The offense is loaded. Now, it's time to make sure the defense keeps pace. Would you make the trade? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you give up Jerzan Newton for a proven all-pro pass rusher? And don't forget, like this video, subscribe to Commanders HQ, and turn on notifications so you stay locked in all off-season long. This is the most exciting time to be a Commanders fan in over a decade. And we're just getting started. From franchise-altering trades to NFC East chaos, Commanders HQ has you covered with everything burgundy and gold. Until next time, hail to the Commanders.